Right then, let's talk about money. Not the kind you're desperately searching for down the back of the sofa, but the shiny, special kind. I'm talking about commemorative coins. Think of them as the rock stars of the coin world. While your everyday 10-cent piece is just trying to do its job, buying you a fraction of a chocolate bar, a commemorative coin is there to tell a story. It's a small, metal disc that celebrates something important: a person, an event, a national milestone. In Ireland, these special coins are issued by the Central Bank of Ireland, which is basically the grand high wizard of all things money-related in the country. They get to decide what goes on our currency, and occasionally they decide to create something a bit more memorable than a harp or a salmon. So, what makes them different from the coins jingling in your pocket right now? Well, for a start, they often have a unique design that you won't see anywhere else. Instead of the usual animal or national symbol, you might find the face of a famous writer like James Joyce, or a depiction of a historic event like the Easter Rising. They are often produced in much smaller numbers than regular currency, which is what makes them exciting for collectors. It's the difference between a mass-produced poster and a limited edition print signed by the artist. One is for everyone, the other is for those who are really paying attention. These coins are a way for a nation to say, "Hey, this thing that happened? It mattered. Let's mint it." These coins are also frequently made from precious metals, like silver or gold. Your standard euro coin is made from a mix of metals designed to be tough and last for ages in circulation, surviving countless transactions and washing machine cycles. But a commemorative coin is often crafted with a bit more finesse. A solid silver coin has a weight and a sheen to it that just feels different, more substantial. It's less of a tool for commerce and more of a tiny piece of art or a miniature metal sculpture. The Central Bank of Ireland releases these not just for history buffs, but for anyone who appreciates a beautifully crafted object with a story to tell. They are, in essence, history you can hold in the palm of your hand. And here's the clever bit: they are usually still legal tender. This means that, in theory, you could walk into a shop and use a fancy, limited edition €10 silver coin to buy your groceries. Now, you'd have to be absolutely mad to do so, because the coin's value to a collector, or even just the value of the silver it's made from, is almost always far greater than its face value. It's a bit like using a first edition copy of Ulysses to prop up a wobbly table leg. You could, but the collective gasp from every book lover in a 50-mile radius would probably knock you over. So, these coins exist in a wonderful middle ground. Officially money, but realistically, they're keepsakes, heirlooms, and tiny, shiny monuments. To really get your head around Irish commemorative coins, you need to rewind the clock a bit. Let's go back to 1928. The Irish Free State had just been established, and like any new country wanting to stand on its own 2 feet, it needed its own money. Out went the British coins, and in came the Saustat Ariane coinage. These weren't commemorative, but they were hugely important. Designed by Percy Metcalfe, they featured a gallery of Irish animals: a salmon, a horse, a wolfhound. These designs were so beloved they became iconic, a symbol of the new state's identity. This was the foundation, the baseline against which all future special coins would be judged. It set a very high bar for artistry right from the get-go. For decades, these beautiful animal coins were all we had. The designs were so good, nobody seemed to feel the need to mess with them. But then came 1966. This was the 50th anniversary of the 1916 Easter Rising, a pivotal moment in Irish history. To mark the occasion, the central bank issued Ireland's very first commemorative coin, the 10-shilling piece. This was a big deal. For the first time, a coin was created not for everyday use, but to specifically honour a historical event. It featured a stunning image of the mythological hero Cuchulainn, dying but defiant, based on the famous statue in the GPO. It was a powerful, evocative design, and it lit the spark for Irish commemorative coinage. Then, just as we were getting used to things, came another seismic shift: decimalisation. In 1971, Ireland, along with the UK, went decimal. The old system of pounds, shillings and pence was swept away, and the new decimal punt, with 100 pence to the pound, arrived. This meant a complete redesign of all our coins. The beloved animal designs were adapted for the new denominations. The salmon swam onto the 10 pence coin, the wolfhound stood proud on the 50 pence piece. This massive changeover was a huge event, and while the standard coins weren't commemorative themselves, the whole process was a national milestone that people still talk about. It was farewell to the florins and half-crowns of our parents' generation. The final and perhaps biggest chapter in this story began on January 1st, 2002. That's when Ireland, along with 11 other European nations, adopted the euro. The Irish punt, our currency for over 70 years, was gone. It was a massive logistical and emotional moment. Out came the Irish euro coins, with the familiar harp on one side, the national side, and a common European design on the other. This change opened up a whole new world for commemorative coins. Now, Ireland could issue special €2 coins that would circulate all across Europe, as well as collector-only silver and gold coins denominated in euros. The story of Irish money had gone from a national tale to a European epic. When you look at an Irish coin, you're not just looking at money, you're looking at a piece of art that has been shrunk to fit in your pocket. The story of our coin designs starts with one man, Percy Metcalfe. He was an English artist who, in 1927, won the competition to design the first coins of the Irish Free State. The design committee, chaired by none other than W.B. Yeats, wanted designs that were beautiful, dignified, and distinctly Irish, but without being overtly political. Metcalfe's solution was genius: a series of animals that represented Ireland's agricultural and natural heritage. The powerful horse, the clever salmon, the swift hare. These weren't just animals, they were symbols of a nation's character, and they were universally loved. After Metcalfe's long reign, the next big name to know is Thomas Ryan. He's an Irish artist who became a go-to designer for some of our most important commemorative issues in the pre-Euro era. Remember that stunning 1966 10-shilling coin with Q Chulin on it? That was his work. He also designed the first Irish pound coin, introduced in 1990, which featured a majestic red deer. Ryan had a knack for capturing a sense of national pride and history in his designs. His work continued the tradition of high artistic standards set by Metcalfe, ensuring that even as the currency evolved, the quality of the art remained consistently brilliant. His designs felt both classic and modern at the same time. Then came the euro, and with it, a new canvas for designers. While the standard euro coins all feature the harp design by Jarlath Hayes, a design that has been on Irish coins since 1928, the commemorative coins have given many different artists a chance to shine. For example, the 2007 €2 coin, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Treaty of Rome, featured a design by Emmett Mullins, showing the open treaty book against a backdrop of the star-patterned pavement of Michelangelo's Piazza del Campidoglio in Rome. It was a sophisticated design shared across the Eurozone, but created by an Irish designer, showcasing our artistic talent on a European stage. The variety of designs in the Euro era is fantastic. We've had coins celebrating the Special Olympics, Irish presidency of the EU, and the centenary of the 1916 Rising. Each one is a small-scale commission for an artist. Someone like Michael Guilfoyle, who designed the beautiful 2016 coin featuring the statue of Hibernia, gets to have their work seen and held by thousands of people. These designers have to be incredibly skilled, not just in drawing, but in understanding how a two-dimensional image will translate into a three-dimensional metallic relief. It's a highly specialized art form, and Ireland has been blessed with some of the best in the business. For a very long time, if you wanted to find where Irish coins were made, you'd have needed a ticket to London. From the very first Free State coins in 1928 all the way up to the mid-1970s, all of Ireland's currency was produced by the Royal Mint. Yes, the same place that makes Britain's coins. This might sound a bit odd for a country that had just fought for its independence, but it was a practical decision. Minting coins is a highly complex industrial process. You need specialized machinery, skilled workers, and massive security. In the 1920s, the new Irish state simply didn't have that kind of facility, so it outsourced the job to its nearest neighbour, who happened to be very good at it. This arrangement worked perfectly well for nearly 50 years. The Royal Mint would produce the coins based on the Irish designs, and then they would be shipped over to be distributed by the Central Bank of Ireland. But as the Irish economy grew, so did the desire for greater self-sufficiency. The idea of having our own national currency being minted abroad started to feel a bit anachronistic. The decision was finally made to build our own mint. It was a significant step, another assertion of national sovereignty. It meant we would have complete control over the production of our own money, from the initial design right through to the final strike of the press. So, in 1976, the brand new Irish Mint opened its doors in Sandyford, a suburb of Dublin. It was a state-of-the-art facility, part of the central bank's new currency centre. From that point on, Irish coins were proudly made in Ireland. The first coins to roll off the Sandyford presses were the 1978 issues. This move was not just symbolic, it also gave the central bank more flexibility. It could respond more quickly to the demand for new coins and manage the production of special commemorative issues entirely in-house. It was a coming-of-age moment for Irish currency, bringing the entire process home. Today, the Currency Centre in Sandyford remains the heart of Irish coin and banknote production. When the Central Bank of Ireland decides to issue a new commemorative coin, the entire process happens right there. The artist's designs are turned into master dies, which are then used to strike the coins, whether they are the circulating €2 coins or the special silver and gold collector pieces. While many other countries might use several different mints, both public and private, Ireland has kept its production consolidated in one place. It's a single, secure and highly advanced facility responsible for every single piece of official Irish money. Section 5. Is it still money? Understanding legal tender. Now, here's a question that trips a lot of people up. What does legal tender actually mean? It sounds very grand and official, doesn't it? Well, in simple terms, legal tender is any form of money that, by law, must be accepted as payment for a debt. If you owe someone money and you offer them legal tender to settle the bill, they can't legally refuse it. In Ireland, euro banknotes and coins are legal tender. So if you're paying for your fish and chips, the person behind the counter has to accept your euro coins. It's the law. This concept is the bedrock of how a currency system works, ensuring everyone has faith in the money being used. Now, here's where it gets interesting with commemorative coins. Most of the silver and gold commemorative coins issued by the Central Bank of Ireland are also designated as legal tender. For example, they might issue a beautiful silver coin with a face value of €15. This means, technically, it is legal tender for €15. However, and this is a very big however, no one in their right mind would use it that way. The coin might contain €30 worth of silver, and a collector might be willing to pay €60 for it. Using it to buy 15 euros worth of petrol would be like setting fire to a pile of money just to keep warm. It's a terrible financial decision. So why make them legal tender at all? It's partly tradition and partly a way of giving the coin official status. By designating it as legal tender, the state is formally recognizing it as an official issue of the nation, not just a fancy metal disc or a medal. This gives the coin a certain gravitas and authenticity. It also has some neat legal and tax implications in some countries, which can make them more attractive to serious international collectors and investors. It's a stamp of approval from the highest authority, confirming that this isn't just a souvenir, it's a piece of official national heritage. But what about the old money? What about the punts, shillings and pence from before the euro? Well, those are no longer legal tender. When Ireland adopted the euro in 2002, there was a transition period where you could exchange your old Irish pounds for euros at the central bank. That period is long over for coins. This means that a beautiful 1966 10-shilling coin or a classic Percy Metcalfe half-crown has no monetary value in a shop. You can't spend them. Their value now is purely historical and collectible. They have transitioned from being currency to being artifacts, valuable not for what they can buy, but for the stories they tell and their rarity. So, what makes an old coin valuable? It's not always about age. A 2,000-year-old Roman coin can sometimes be bought for less than a pint because, well, millions of them have been found. The magic word for collectors is rarity. And rarity comes down to one simple thing. How many were made, and more importantly, how many are left? This is determined by the mintage, the total number of coins produced in a specific year. For some Irish coins, the mintage numbers are astonishingly low. For example, only a handful of 1943 florins and half pennies are known to exist, making them the holy grail for collectors of Irish currency, worth tens of thousands of euros. Condition is the other crucial factor. Collectors are a fussy bunch, and they want their coins to be as close to perfect as possible. A coin that has been rattling around in pockets and cash registers for 50 years will be worn, scratched, and dull. This is known as circulated condition. A coin that was saved straight from the mint and kept in a protected case will be uncirculated or mint state. It will be sharp, shiny, and look like it was made yesterday. The difference in value between a worn coin and a perfect one can be enormous. A common coin in poor condition might be worth very little, while the exact same coin in pristine condition could be worth a fortune. So, where do you find these treasures? Well, you're unlikely to get a 1943 florin in your change from the shops, I'm afraid. For new commemorative issues, the best place to go is directly to the source. The Central Bank of Ireland sells its new silver and gold collector coins through its own website. They are usually sold for a fixed price for a limited time. For older coins, the hunt is part of the fun. You can find them at specialist coin dealers who have shops in cities like Dublin, or at coin fairs, where dealers and collectors from all over the country gather to buy, sell and trade. Online auction sites like eBay are also a massive marketplace, but you need to be careful and buy from reputable sellers. Collecting is a journey. Most people start small. You might begin by trying to assemble a full set of the pre-decimal animal coins from 1928 to 1969. Or you could try to find all the different Irish €2 commemorative coins. You can join a numismatic society or an online forum to learn from more experienced collectors. They can teach you how to grade coins, how to spot fakes, and which issues are particularly sought after. The thrill comes from finding that one missing piece for your collection, whether you buy it from a dealer or stumble upon it in a jar of old change at a car boot sale. It's a treasure hunt through history. If you're looking to get a sense of what's out there, it helps to have a bit of a checklist of the big hitters in Irish commemorative coinage. These are the coins that mark significant moments or are particularly beloved by collectors for their designs. Think of this as a greatest hits album for Irish money. Of course, the list is long, but there are a few absolute must-knows for anyone starting out. They tell the story of modern Ireland in metal, from celebrating ancient myths to embracing a European future, and each one is a fantastic piece to own, or even just to know about. First up, you have the granddaddy of them all, the 1966 10 shilling. As we've mentioned, this was Ireland's first ever commemorative coin, issued for the 50th anniversary of the Easter Rising. Its Cuchulainn design is iconic. Because it was a first and connected to such a pivotal event, it holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. A huge number were minted, so it's not super rare, meaning you can pick one up for a reasonable price. It's the perfect coin to start a collection with, a beautiful and historically significant piece that won't break the bank. It represents the moment Ireland decided to use its money to tell its own story. Next on the list is the 1988 Dublin Millennium 50p. In 1988, Dublin celebrated its 1000th birthday, based on a Viking settlement established in 988. To mark this, a special 50p coin was issued. It featured the city's coat of arms, flanked by the dates 988 and 1988. This coin was only issued for 1 year and was hugely popular at the time. Many people kept them as souvenirs, but plenty also ended up in circulation. Finding a nice, shiny, uncirculated one is a great challenge for a new collector. It's a wonderful memento of a year-long party that took over the entire capital city. Jumping forward to the end of the century, we have the 2000 Millennium Pound. This was Ireland's last commemorative coin of the pre-Euro era, and it was a beauty. The design was based on the Broita boat, a stunning Iron Age gold artifact housed in the National Museum of Ireland. The coin featured an elegant depiction of the boat sailing above the water with the word millennium and the year 2000. It was a fitting tribute, linking Ireland's ancient past with the dawn of a new millennium, just before the country's currency was about to change forever. It's a poignant and beautifully designed piece, a final flourish for the Irish pound. All right, I've talked a lot about different coins, but I have to confess, I have a personal favourite. For me, it has to be the 1966 10 shilling piece. There's just so much going on with that coin that makes it special. First, there's the context. Imagine Ireland in the mid-60s. The 50th anniversary of the Easter Rising was a massive national event. It was a time of reflection, of looking back at the complicated and violent birth of the state. The government wanted to mark it in a way that was solemn and respectful, and a commemorative coin was the perfect vehicle for that. This wasn't just another piece of money, it was a national statement. Then you have the design itself. Choosing Cuchulainn was a masterstroke. Here is a figure from ancient mythology, not a political leader from the 20th century. This made the design timeless and, crucially, less divisive. The image is of Cuchulainn in his final moments, having tied himself to a standing stone so he could die on his feet, facing his enemies. It's a powerful symbol of defiance and sacrifice. The artist Thomas Ryan based his drawing on the famous sculpture by Oliver Shepherd that stands in the GPO in Dublin, the very headquarters of the 1916 rebels. The connection is direct and incredibly moving. The coin itself is also a beast. It's big, it's heavy, and it's 83.3% silver. When you hold it, it has a satisfying heft that modern coins just don't have. It feels substantial, like you're holding something of real worth, not just in terms of its history, but in its physical makeup. The size gave the artist a great canvas to work with, allowing for a level of detail that brings the figure of Cuchulainn to life. You can almost feel the tragedy and heroism of the scene. It's a coin that demands you stop and look at it properly to appreciate the artistry and the story it's telling. And finally, for a collector, it's the perfect entry point. Because 5 million of them were minted, they are not impossibly rare. You can find a decent one without having to remortgage your house. It's an accessible piece of history. For just a few euros, you can own the very first commemorative coin Ireland ever issued, a coin that connects ancient mythology, a pivotal historical event, and a moment of national self-reflection in the 1960s. For me, no other Irish coin packs such a powerful historical and artistic punch. It's a masterpiece in miniature, and it belongs in every Irish collection. So, you've heard the stories, you've seen the designs, and you're thinking, right, I fancy a bit of that. Where do you begin? My first tip is simple. Start with what you can find. Before you go spending any money, check the change in your own pocket. The most accessible collection to start is the Irish commemorative €2 coins. Since 2007, Ireland has issued several of these, celebrating everything from the 1916 Rising to the centenary of the Dial Arian. Because these are circulating coins, you have a genuine chance of finding one in your change. It's the modern-day equivalent of a treasure hunt, and it costs you nothing to look. My second tip is to define your goal. The world of coin collecting is vast, and you can easily get overwhelmed. Don't try to collect everything at once. Pick a theme and stick with it. You could decide to collect all the pre-decimal animal coins, from the farthing to the half-crown. Or maybe you want to focus on the coins of a specific period, like the decimal coins from 1971 to 2000. Having a clear goal makes the hunt more focused, and the achievement of completing the set much more satisfying. It turns a random pile of old metal into a curated historical collection with a purpose. Thirdly, invest in some basic supplies. You don't need a lot of fancy gear, but a couple of things will make a huge difference. Get a good magnifying glass. You'll be amazed at the tiny details you can see on a coin when it's magnified. It will also help you to assess a coin's condition more accurately. Also, get some proper storage. Don't just keep your coins in an old biscuit tin where they can scratch against each other. Buy some simple coin flips, those little plastic pockets, or a coin album. This will protect your coins and keep them organised. It's a small investment that preserves the value of your collection. Finally, and most importantly, have fun with it. This isn't a race or a competition, it's a hobby. Enjoy the process of learning about Irish history through its money. Talk to other collectors, visit a coin fair, read a book on the subject. Every coin has a story, whether it's a rare silver commemorative or a common penny that passed through thousands of hands. The joy of collecting is in discovering those stories and building your own personal museum in a box. So get looking, and who knows what tiny, shiny piece of Irish history you might find next.